today's video, I just want to do a little video talking about some of my favorite firewood processing tools. I don't know what it is about firewood, but ever since I was a little kid, I was always around firewood, making firewood. I guess if you wanted to stay warm, you had to go out in the woods and go make some firewood. But you know, as I get older, I like to think that I get a little wiser. Perhaps I have a little bit more knowledge in the head, and I try to do things more efficiently, waste less energy, and do a minimal amount of damage on my body. And having the right tools can really make a huge difference. So really there's two tools that I want to talk about today. First, I just did a video about this. I won't talk much about this, but this is something I recently learned about. It's called a Mingo. Basically, when you get a log and you want to cut it into predetermined lengths, for me I like 16 inches. Well, this is just the handiest thing. So there's a little spray paint can in here. They make different size wheels if you want to have different size lengths of logs. But it comes with a 16-inch wheel, and this thing's just so handy. You can see some of the pink marks right here, but when you want to mark out a log, what you do, unlock this little wing nut right here, drag the wheel back to where you want to start, then just roll forward. And it just marks it. I will say, it's not the most accurate. It's accurate to within maybe 2 inches, something like that. Maybe an inch, so. As long as you don't need it perfect, this thing is such a handy tool, and it's a huge time saver. So the Mingo, definitely one of my favorite tools. And the second tool, the tools that I really wanted to make this video about, are these guys right here. So these are log tongs, and these are both homemade. I actually made one of these last year, but somehow it got dropped out of the back of the logging jib crane trailer, and I haven't been able to find it yet. Maybe it was a bad idea to paint it black, so this time I painted these yellow. They also have reflective tape on there. So, for larger size pieces of wood, I have the logging jib crane, and you know, that thing comes down, it's a big claw. It'll pick up these pieces of wood, throw them in the back of the trailer. Not doing any heavy lifting, but there comes a time when that becomes really inefficient. Like if I have pieces less than 8 inches in diameter, that thing's really slow, and I don't want to go down on the ground and scoop them up myself. So that's where these come in handy. So let me see if I can find a good size. Here's a good example right here. So a piece like this, right? This is maybe 4 inches in diameter. So traditionally, you know, you cut this into your 16-inch lengths, you have to get down, pick it up like this, hard on your knees, hard on your back. Well, if you have something like this, this one does not have an extension. All you do, just bend down a little bit, hook it right on. Look at that. And when you want to drop it, just a little flick of the wrist. I gotta tell you, this thing is so freaking handy. We'll talk about the extension arm in a moment here, but I want to talk about a pickaroon. Now, I wish I brought the pickaroon out in the woods with me today, but it's inside in the shop. I'm not going back to get it. So you can use a pickaroon for a similar purpose, right? So a pickaroon, wooden handle, and there's a metal hook on the end. Now, I used to use a pickaroon a lot, but let me tell you, I've had a lot of close calls. You know, you go to move a log like this or a piece of firewood, you know, you have that pickaroon stick, that little hook on the bottom, and I can't tell you how many times that thing slips and has almost come in contact with my shin. I'm very fortunate that's never happened, but that tool, it has its use. I think it's great for like rolling logs over, like a log like this, you know, take a pickaroon, hook it on the log, and then you can roll it over. But aside from that, in terms of using it for lifting, I think it's far too dangerous. I think it's a very dangerous tool. You know, to each his own, but I really try not to use the pickaroon anymore. Now, I want to talk about this. So this is log tongs with an extension handle. So I saw a picture of this on Amazon, and it was going for 55 bucks, and I thought, nah, I'm not going to spend 55 bucks on it. I'm going to make my own. So here's what I come up with, and it's a pretty simple mechanism. You know, basically I just took some soapstone, drew out the design I wanted to build on the welding table, and brought it to life. And let me tell you, this thing's incredible. So you can do many things with this. For one, you could take smaller size firewood, like this 4-inch guy on the ground. You know, if you wanted to pick this up, now you don't even have to bend over. You go right up next to it, throw it in the back of the log trailer, and you're set. So that's one advantage to it. Now, a second problem I have, you know, like I said, I got the logging jib crane trailer, and oftentimes I cut these big rounds of wood, and they're kind of far away from the trailer. I could put the winch in free spool, but you know, that takes a lot of time because I got to put it in free spool, bring it out, re-engage the clutch on the winch, then drag the log all the way over. So that's where this log tong, or that's where these log tongs really start to come in handy, because what I can do now, say I got this big piece of, this looks like oak, but I got this big piece of oak, so I can just hook onto this without bending over and just drag it closer to the trailer, drop it, and then from there, then I can take the winch and throw it in the back of the trailer. So I'll do it again over here. Still getting the hang of this. You know, there's a little trick to using this, but you can see for my application, this is such a handy tool. I mean, these are some pretty big pieces, and these suckers are heavy. I mean, these things weigh, goodness, this guy's got to be close to 110 pounds. But with this, just able to drag it right over. When I'm done with it, just flip the handle up. You got this little piece from before. Throw this off to the side. I might have to sharpen these jaws just a little bit. This is definitely one of my new favorite tools. So if you're looking to save time and energy and you do a lot of firewood, definitely look into getting some of these log tongs. They do make the extension one, like I said, but $55 if you got a welder and you got some time. Great things to make. And then also the Mingo. Excellent, excellent little tool. Big time saver. Accuracy, like I said, it's pretty good within an inch or two, but it doesn't really matter. Great little time saver right here. If you have any tools you'd like to recommend that are really helpful in saving time and energy when it comes to processing firewood, please drop a comment on this video. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.